This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute professional medical advice. Please consult with your doctor or a qualified healthcare specialist before starting any new vitamins or supplements mentioned in this video. Use of this information is at your own risk. There is a ticking time bomb hiding inside your heels that resets every single night while you sleep. If you stand up before melting the honey inside your tissues, you are causing microscopic tears that will eventually lead to a total collapse of your arch. You're not just aging, you're breaking. And I'm going to show you how to stop it before it's too late. Stop and think about the very first moment your eyes open tomorrow morning. In that quiet, still second, you are standing at a crossroads between continued independence and a life-altering catastrophe. For most of you over the age of 60, that first step out of bed isn't just a movement. It is a violent assault on your own body. You know that sensation, that sharp, blinding flash of agony in your heel that makes you gasp for air and reach blindly for the nightstand just to stay upright. You might call it stiffness. You might call it just getting older. But I am here to tell you the terrifying truth, that pain is the sound of your foundation crumbling. Every time you force yourself to walk through that morning stabbing, you are micro-tearing the very fibers that keep you mobile. You are essentially gambling with your ability to ever walk again. Imagine a dry, brittle branch in the dead of winter. If you try to bend it, it doesn't flex, it snaps. At 60, 70, or 80, your tendons and ligaments have become that brittle branch. One wrong move, one aggressive step on a cold foot, and you aren't just looking at a sore heel. You are looking at a catastrophic rupture or a shattered hip from a fall that could leave you bedridden for the rest of your life. This is the silent, invisible collapse of the senior body, and it starts the moment your feet hit the floor. Welcome to EldraFit Nutrition. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. We have dedicated ourselves to uncovering the hard truths about aging that others are too afraid to tell you. We believe that your 60s and 70s should be years of freedom, not a slow descent into disability. If you are ready to stop the cycle of pain and protect your mobility so you can keep walking strong for decades to come, please subscribe to our channel right now. Your support is the fuel that allows us to continue creating these deep dive, life-changing guides for our community. By subscribing, you aren't just joining a channel, you are taking a stand for your own health and independence. Before we dive into the hidden mechanics of why your legs are failing you, I want you to pause and reflect on your own journey. This is a moment of total honesty with yourself. When you feel that agonizing, glass-like pain in your feet every morning, which of these sounds more like you? Think deeply before you answer. Is it A? You grit your teeth and push through the pain, believing that no pain, no gain is the only way to stay active? Or is it B? You feel a deep sense of dread and fear, realizing that your body is screaming for help, and you honestly don't know how much longer you can keep going? Please go to the comment section right now and type A or B. Your answer is vital because it reveals exactly how you view your body's signals. Are you listening to the warning, or are you accidentally accelerating your own decline? We read every single comment, and seeing your responses helps us tailor our mission to save as many seniors as possible from the tragedy of lost mobility. The tragedy of modern aging is that the very advice you have been given to stay healthy is often the very thing that is destroying your legs from the inside out. We have been conditioned to believe that stretching is the holy grail of fitness. You've been told by well-meaning friends, magazines, and even some outdated medical handouts that if you feel tight, you must pull, tug, and stretch. But for the body of a 60-year-old, this standard advice is a dangerous lie. We need to look deeper into the biological reality of what is happening under your skin. Think about a heavy industrial rope that has been used to pull loads for 60 years. It is no longer a smooth, singular cord. It is frayed. Thousands of tiny, invisible threads have already snapped over decades of walking, working, and living. Now, imagine that this frayed rope has been sitting outside in the freezing cold all night. It is stiff, frozen, and completely unforgiving. If you were to grab both ends of that cold, frayed rope and yank it as hard as you could to stretch it, would it become more flexible? Of course not. It would snap. It would tear. The remaining healthy fibers would be pulverized under the tension. This is exactly what happens to your plantar fascia and your Achilles tendon every single morning. While you sleep, your body temperature drops slightly, and blood flow to your extremities slows down. In your 20s, your tissues were like warm, elastic rubber bands that could bounce back from anything. But at 60 and beyond, your tissues behave like a jar of honey that has been left in the back of a cold refrigerator overnight. It is thick, sluggish, and incredibly brittle. This cold honey phase is when your body is most vulnerable. When you sit up and immediately stand, placing your entire body weight, 150, 200, or 250 pounds, directly onto those cold, stiff tissues, you are asking for a miracle that your biology cannot provide. The tissue cannot stretch fast enough to accommodate the sudden load, so it pulls with violent force against your heel bone. This isn't just a minor irritation, it is a mechanical failure. The most heart-wrenching mistake I see seniors make is trying to fix this morning pain by performing aggressive calf stretches against a wall or pulling their toes back with a strap the moment they wake up. You think you are helping, but in reality, you are taking a hammer to a cracked windshield. You are magnifying the micro tears. You are forcing a frozen, frayed system to undergo extreme tension before it has been defrosted. This aggressive stretching creates a cycle of chronic inflammation that never heals because you re-injure the area every single morning. We have to stop treating our mature bodies with the reckless methods of youth. We must move away from the forceful tug and move toward the gentle thaw. If you continue to follow the traditional path of cold stretching and walking it off, you aren't just fighting a sore foot, you are actively accelerating the day when your legs will simply refuse to carry you any further. To save your mobility, we must first understand that a cold body is a fragile body. We must learn how to melt the honey before we ever move the jar. The transition from sleep to movement must be a sacred ritual of restoration, not a sudden shock to your system. Before the covers are even pulled back, while you are still cocooned in the warmth of your bed, you possess a golden 60-second window to save your day. Think of this as priming the engine. You wouldn't start a vintage car that has sat in the cold and immediately redline the motor. You would let it idle, letting the oil circulate and the metal expand. Your body, at 60 and beyond, deserves that same grace. While lying flat, begin by simply acknowledging your feet. Rotate your ankles in slow, deliberate circles, feeling the tiny pops and releases as stagnant fluid begins to shift. Then, draw one knee gently toward your chest. This isn't about flexibility, it is about mechanical lubrication. By compressing and releasing the knee joint, you are manually pumping synovial fluid, nature's WD-40, into the spaces where bone meets bone. Now, we reach the most critical part of the thaw, the bedside fascia flush. Reach down and find that spot where the hard bone of your heel meets the softer arch of your foot. This is the epicenter of your morning agony. Using both thumbs, apply a firm, steady pressure. Not enough to cause pain, but enough to feel the resistance of the tissue. Slowly, and I mean at a snail's pace, slide your thumbs up the length of your arch toward your toes. Imagine you are using a heavy iron to smooth out a deeply wrinkled shirt, or trying to squeeze every last drop of toothpaste from the very bottom of the tube. This intentional stroke does something miraculous. It creates friction that generates physical heat, melting that cold honey we spoke about earlier. You are manually lengthening the fibers and pulling fresh, oxygen-rich blood into a desert of stagnation. Repeat this 15 to 20 times until you can actually feel the skin of your soul becoming warm to the touch. This heat is the signal that your internal shock absorbers have been activated. You have successfully defrosted the tissue. When you finally swing your legs over the edge of the bed, you aren't stepping onto a bed of nails. You are stepping onto a foundation that is warm, pliable, and ready to hold your weight. Once your feet finally make contact with the floor, the goal shifts from thawing to stabilizing. You have melted the honey, but now you must build the scaffolding that will keep you upright and safe for the rest of the day. For those of us over 60, every step we take is a calculation of balance and impact. To protect your joints, you must turn your legs into a sophisticated suspension system. Stand near a sturdy kitchen table or the back of a heavy chair for support, This isn't about testing your balance yet. It's about isolating the strength in your lower limbs. Begin the slow rise protocol. Lift your heels off the ground, rising onto the balls of your feet. But here is the secret that changes everything. Do not just bounce up and down. Rise for a count of 3, hold at the absolute peak for 2 full seconds, and then, most importantly, lower yourself back down as slowly as possible. This slow descent is what builds eccentric strength, the specific kind of muscle power that prevents falls and protects your spine. When you do this, you are training the muscles of your calves and feet to act as a scaffolding. This muscular support system takes the immense pressure off your plantar fascia and your aging knee joints. Think of it as reinforcing the pillars of a bridge. Without this strength, every step you take sends a violent shock wave straight up your leg, through your hip, and into your lower back, causing the chronic aches that most people mistake for normal aging. By performing 10 to 15 of these controlled rises, you are waking up the dormant nerve endings in your feet and telling your brain exactly where your body is in space. You are no longer just a person trying not to fall. You are a person with a reinforced, stable foundation. This is how you reclaim your confidence. This is how you ensure that a trip to the grocery store or a walk in the park isn't a gamble, but a triumph of your own design. You are not just walking, you are operating a machine that you have personally tuned for excellence. The final layer of your recovery lies in the environment you create for your feet after you leave the bedroom. You can perform every exercise perfectly, but if you immediately lock your feet into a leather vise, you are undoing all your hard work. Take a long, honest look at the shoes sitting in your closet. Most modern footwear is designed for fashion, not for the biology of a human over 60. Narrow, tapered toe boxes squeeze your toes together, paralyzing the natural arch and forcing the fascia into a state of permanent strain. When your toes cannot splay, your foot loses its ability to absorb shock, sending that daily damage straight back to your heel. The fix is a simple act of liberation. Choose shoes with a wide toe box that allows your toes to breathe and move. Whenever possible, walk barefoot on safe textured surfaces. This stimulates thousands of nerve endings that have gone dormant, reconnecting your brain to your foundation. Furthermore, remember that your joints do not have a direct pump for nutrition. They rely on the fluids you consume. After a night of dehydration, your tissues are like parched earth. Drink a full glass of room temperature water immediately after your morning massage. This simple act of hydration, combined with a few gentle ankle circles, acts as an internal lubricant, washing away the chemical markers of inflammation and oiling your hinges from the inside out. I am challenging you to commit to this entire protocol for just 7 mornings. 7 days of melting the honey, building the scaffolding, and choosing freedom over restriction. Mark your calendar, because your journey back to a pain-free life begins with that very first glass of water tomorrow morning. As we bring this journey to a close, I want you to take a deep breath and truly feel the weight of your own body. For decades, your feet have been the silent, unsung heroes of your life. They carried you through the nervous energy of your first job, they supported you through the exhausting years of raising a family, and they have stood firm through every storm life has thrown your way. But as we cross the threshold of 60 and beyond, the relationship between us and our bodies must change. It can no longer be a relationship of blind demand where we expect our legs to perform without maintenance. It must become a partnership of mutual respect. The stabbing pain you feel in the morning isn't a sign that you are broken or that your best years are behind you. It is simply a conversation. Your body is whispering, or perhaps screaming, that it needs a different kind of attention than it did 30 years ago. Imagine a life just a few weeks from now where you wake up and the first thing you feel isn't dread, but a quiet confidence. Imagine swinging your legs out of bed and feeling your feet meet the floor with strength and suppleness. Imagine walking through the grocery store without needing to lean on the cart for support, or playing in the yard with your grandchildren without that winced expression of hidden agony. This isn't a fantasy. It is the natural result of working with your biology instead of against it. Your body possesses a remarkable, almost miraculous ability to heal and adapt, provided you give it the right tools and the right environment. You are not a victim of time. You are the architect of your own mobility. The path back to independence isn't paved with expensive surgeries or complex equipment. It is paved with 60 seconds of warmth, a glass of water, and the wisdom to listen to what your foundation is telling you. You have spent your whole life taking care of everyone else. Now it is finally time to take care of the two things that have carried you through it all. Trust the process, be patient with your progress, and never forget that you are worth the effort. The core lesson here is that biological neglect is often mistaken for chronological aging. We frequently blame the years for our pain, when in reality, it is the accumulation of small, incorrect habits, like aggressive cold stretching or wearing restrictive shoes, that causes the breakdown. Our bodies are not static machines that simply wear out. They are dynamic, living systems that respond to the quality of care they receive. Start by shifting your mindset from fixing a problem to nurturing a system. In your daily life, apply the thaw before you move principle to everything. Just as you now know to warm up your feet before walking, try to apply this gentle, incremental approach to all physical tasks. Listen for the whispers of stiffness in your knees or back and address them with warmth and hydration before they become the screams of injury. Consistency is your greatest ally. 5 minutes of gentle care every single morning is worth more than 5 hours of intense therapy once a month. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Which part of this morning routine do you think will be the most challenging to turn into a daily habit? Please share your thoughts in the comments below so we can all support each other and share different perspectives on staying mobile. If you found this guide helpful and want to continue reclaiming your health with science-backed, practical advice for your 60s and beyond, please subscribe to EldraFit Nutrition. Your support helps us keep this mission alive and allows us to reach more people who are searching for a way to walk strong again.